On this episode, we smoke the thin white line from Fatboys Cigars. This 6.5 by 54 Nicaraguan puro features a delicious Nicaraguan Habano wrapper, and we are pairing it with some Rise and Grind from 2C Premium Coffee, 2cpremium.com. Thanks, Teresa, for sending this by in our Christmas packet. Enjoy pairing both of these. I'm your host, Johnny Midas, and you're listening to Burnline Podcast. Burnline Podcast. The burn line on a well-crafted cigar is straight and sharp as a razor, much like our wit and wisdom. And what's up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages over the age of 21. Coming to you not live, as always, from the Hot Box, the smoky back room where deals are struck and fortunes are made. Adjacent to the Blanco Cigar Lounge, nestled among the complex of rooms that comprise Union Cigar, Hanover, Pennsylvania, USA. The only Blanco Cigar Lounge in North America. This is Burnline Podcast. I'm Johnny Midas.
And I'm Angel El Fumo Solario.
What's up, Angel? How we doing this morning?
We're doing a little wet, I guess, and slushy.
Yep, we got the first snow of the year, and it's already getting rained out. And we've got all kinds of cool stuff on the show today. First things first, I brought some Johnny Midas shit to show you.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I know what that is.
First of all, what is possibly the most Johnny Midas cigar ever made. Take a look at that. That is a Rocky Patel Conviction.
That is one hell of a box.
It is a square tubo that is gold. Now, it comes cello wrapped. I took the cello off because you know my hate-love relationship with cello wrapped cigars.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what it looks like, though, on the inside. Typical Rocky, lots and lots of band, acres and acres of band, but it's gold.
Yeah. That's a nice box press, too.
It is. It's one of those oval box presses. It looks really well aged, and that's about it. There's not really a lot of branding on it. Very expensive cigar. Can't wait to smoke that one. And we got this is the Van Gogh from the El Septimo Sacred Art Collection.
Yep.
So we smoked the Botticelli on the show, which was an interesting cigar.
That is a lot of stick.
It is a lot of stick. I'll bet you that's over 3 hours, just like the last one.
Oh, my. Yeah.
I've had two different people in two different states tell me that this is their new favorite cigar.
Nice. I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
It just looks so cool.
It's like a ginormous Salomon. That's like, what, 7.5 inches?
I think it's an 8. I want to say it's an 8. Figurado, yeah, Salmon.
Yeah.
I love the banding. That's just cool looking. That's the top band is Johnny Midas.
Yeah. It's a good-looking cigar, and if it's constructed as well as the last one, I'm going to enjoy it. And then this is my Fuente, this is a Chateau Fuente double, which is why it's like twice as long as a regular Chateau Fuente in the natural.
So all three of those are a little bit more than what you would smoke anyway.
The Chateau Fuente, like, Fuente's kind of my go-to smoke.
Yeah.
So that fits it. The other two are, I'm going to smoke the Botticelli. I'm not actually going to smoke the Rocky.
Yeah. You're
I
just going to...
got it for how it looks, yeah.
Collection. Yeah, I get
And then
that.
check this unopened, still in the cello, 30th anniversary Perdomo sun-grown Robustos.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't even know if I'm going to open that. I'm just going to throw that in the humidor, look at it wistfully from time to time. Now, I had the 30th anniversary Maduro Robusto, real good.
Yeah, so the Perdomo Facebook page sharing some stuff about it. Definitely would like to get some.
Yeah, I'll probably hang on to it for a few years and then resell it, something like that. So. All right, so we're smoking the Fatboy Cigars Boots on the Ground Series Thin White line, and it's got the black string that sort of mimics the boots that first responders wear, and it has the usual dog tag shaped black label, the white stripe.
Yep.
It's good looking. It's the same as the thin red line that we smoked on here before in terms of the branding, but it's just really I don't know, it's just different. You know, nobody else is doing something like this. It really
Yeah.
stands out. One thing we mentioned last time is the back of the tag is a great place to put a little note. There's all kinds of things you can do with that. So that is down over the top of this cello, and this stick comes with one of those flat pigtails, similar to, you know, the one that you twist up and clip off, just like a Bahique, as opposed to the really curly-tailed one, like you see on your, I don't know, like your Carreras or something.
Yeah, some of the no, not EP. Oh man,
Esteban Carreras.
Esteban Carreras.
Yeah. It's like, wrapped around and around and around. You know, the button pigtail.
Yeah.
I call this a flat pigtail. But
Should we try what Francisco said? Chew on it while we smoke?
you do whatever you want. That doesn't sound like something I want to do. Maybe you do that, and
I could try it, yeah.
smoke it like a normal person. And then
Well, technically that is normal. I mean, he is the guy. Like
technically, it's normal. Is he? So you're saying he's normal? He's just a guy? That's
no,
what-
not just the guy, but the
So
guy.
you heard it here first. Yeah, give it a shot. So
Close foot.
it is a closed foot, yes, and it has that flat pigtail top. Really good looking, kind of natural wrapper on this one. That is a good looking wrapper. It's lightly oiled.
A little shiny.
Yeah, a little shiny.
A little natural looking.
Yeah, it's pretty good looking. I don't see. There's a little speckles right here. Be
Yeah.
interested to see how that if that affects the burn at all.
Yeah, I got a little loose right there already.
Yep, little loose. But overall, the presentation is pretty solid. The closed
beautiful.
foot is cool. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a good looking cigar. Very veiny.
Yeah. It's not like a Connecticut broadleaf, but it's veiny. Why don't we go ahead and cut and light these, and while we're smoking on them, we can talk about it a little bit more.
All right.
So I've got my Drew Estate close-ended double guillotine. Probably not the best choice for a cigar with a pigtail like this,
Yeah.
but you know, a lot of guys rock around one cutter, and so I'm going to use this and pretend I don't have 3 other cutters in my bag that I could use instead.
That's right.
That's the right cutter to use for the job. And what have you got?
So I'm using a Vertigo large gauge, which is a 70 gauge double guillotine open-ended cutter.
Yeah.
I've had this for a while. Very trusting. Man, this thing is still sharp. I've had this for a few years now.
And it's a double guillotine, open-ended.
Yep. Plastic body, simple, straight to the point, straight cut.
Plastic blades.
No.
No? Metal? Okay.
No.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and get this cigar cut. The official cutting is brought to you by Fatboy Cigars. The bold and delicious flavors of premium hand-selected tobacco leaves are highlighted in the original Jacked cigar by Fatboy Cigars. And don't forget to try the new Fatboy Cigars Boots on the Ground series. For every cigar you purchase in this series, Fatboy Cigars will donate $1 to charities benefiting our frontline heroes. Fatboy Cigars, welcome to the Fatboys world. And as always, we remind you to clip that cigar with authority. No limp-wristed cutting allowed. And it did take 2 clips on my end.
It took, 2.
And now we're just tapping the head of the cigar out on the back of our hand. Again, not something that is, required. I never did it until Nick turned me on to this, and now I've never stopped.
Yeah, and it's been helpful, honestly.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. It gets all the crap out of my teeth, and
Yep.
I don't have stuff floating in my tongue or in my mouth, and definitely has made the experience a little better. Thanks, Nick.
And I am going to light up with my official Johnny Midas Gold Bar lighter, the unique 1 of 5 million in the world,
Yeah.
apparently.
1 of 5 million now.
Yeah.
Thanks for your thanks for your contribution to humanity. Now that lighter's a thing because of you.
Well, at least now it's out in the world. So,
And
Anyway, this is a soft flame butane, and you've got a single flame torch?
Single flame torch that looks like a legitimate rocket. It's actually pretty cool. It's
Kind of looks like a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's got a
Fucking huge
bottle opener, and then
that's that shit. What is that brand?
blue rhino, like blue rhino, something like that.
Yeah. It's their like, what do you call that? Like normal person division, non-commercial division,
Right.
Household goods.
Yeah,
Division. Yeah.
they have two. So I bought this at Rural King, which
Yep.
Rural King sells both this and the soldering
Yep.
torch. So
And they're not much, right?
no, this was $9.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're
This
like
thing's
9 or 10
freaking
bucks.
awesome,
at Rural King.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it can't fit in your pocket, but it's fucking awesome.
Sure it can.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this lit. I think I'm out of butane.
Oh man,
I might have to switch over to my
Rocket Patel.
Paleo 3-flame, good old fashioned triple torch, and I am toasting this closed foot, and now I'm gonna puff on it before I light anything
Right.
else. Something that I learned from
Spicy.
Francisco. Yeah, he said if they put a closed foot on it, it's because they want you to taste just the wrapper leaf. Right? So that was interesting. First couple of puffs there, which was just the wrapper leaf. And one of the things I like about this, doing it this way, is then when I taste the full light, I can pick out the wrapper from that new flavor. And as always, we remind you, toasted, not roasted. I'm just holding this flame at nice. I mean, what am I, 4 inches away? Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Oh, I might be out too.
And I am not sucking that flame down into the cigar. I'm just letting it toast. And I was talking to somebody about this last week, and they're like, I mean, come on. How is it any different than lighting a cigarette, And of course, this person's not a
Very different.
cigar smoker.
It is very
right?
different.
But they're trying to get into cigar. Well, so what happened was they were smoking cigarettes for years, and then they switched over to those like cigarette cigars, cigarettes, and yeah, and then they light the same as a cigarette basically, but they wanted to try a cigar, I guess over the holidays with like their uncle or something or grandpa.
Okay.
And they were really having some trouble with it. And so I was explaining toasted, not roasted.
Yeah.
Apparently they basically tunneled it, like by sticking a jet flame into the end of it.
Like right up into it?
Yeah, and like sucking the flame in. Anyhow, I told him, go take a piece of bread, take your butane torch, and toast the bread with the torch. That's the best, fastest way to learn how to toast a cigar.
Right.
Literally, go take a piece of bread and turn it into toast with a butane torch. When you can do that, you can light your cigar. It's the same thing.
I like the burn line right off the bat.
Yeah, I got a pretty decent burn line, so I've got a couple of puffs on here.
A little wood, a little cedar, spice right off the bat.
Yeah, some cedar and spice, and then there's something sweet in there too. I'm not sure what I'm tasting.
Right at like the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell. I notice it, but I can't tell.
Yeah, it's a little hint of sweet, but it's kind of like it's almost like a, when you say that whiskey has a caramel finish,
Yeah.
like it's sweet like that. Like it reminds me a little bit of like a caramel finish on a whiskey, which is not the same as caramel,
No.
right? Really interesting. Yeah, there's a little bit of green wood. So like uncured Spanish cedar with, I would say, some allspice.
Little, very, very faint hint of cocoa, like chocolate. Not cocoa, but just like a little.
Yeah, a little hint of that. Some pepper. and like I said, there's a little creamy sweet on the back, but it's kind of like the caramel finish on a whiskey. It's just there to just kind of like, almost you can't put your finger on it kind of thing, which is kind of cool. And you're right. It's on the back of the
palate as it
like
comes
the soft
over to
palate,
yeah.
I would say probably mid body right now.
Yeah.
Smooth.
It really is.
I know.
A little creamy.
Yeah, that might be overused in the cigar industry, but that word, smooth.
Smooth.
But this one is. I'll tell you what, there's some really good cigars that I would not characterize as smooth.
No.
The Padron 1926 is a top smoke for me. I would not describe that as smooth. It's just not.
Very robust.
It's robust, yeah. Yeah, it's smooth the way that Ray Lewis is smooth. Like, he can move fast, and he's more coordinated than I am, but that's not the first thing that comes to mind.
So it's like Muhammad Ali then.
Yeah.
Move like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Emphasis on the stinging like a bee thing.
Yeah.
Well, that is a really, really good taste right now. Like, you know how like different cigars kind of occupy different places. If we put our cigar smoking experience like in a spectrum, you can kind of break it up into buckets, right? And so you have the Padron-esque cigars, and I would put like the Korea Pledge in there. That's one bucket. Then you have like your Ashton, Connecticut, right, on the other end. And you got a whole bucket of Connecticut cigars that go in there, right? And then in between you have like, these are your nutty, woodsy cigars.
Yeah.
These are like your sweet or chocolatey cigar, So you have these different buckets. And what I like about this one is I'm not quite sure which bucket it goes in.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe halfway we'll see.
Yeah, like it's intriguing, I guess to put it that way. I like the flavors, like the, I guess, complementary nature.
Yeah,
of the flavors in it right now.
Yeah, like have you smoked the Perla del Mar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what bucket to put that one in either because it's like this weird, unique.
Which one, the Maduro or the?
The Maduro.
Yeah, it is different. It doesn't smoke like a regular Maduro, does it? Yeah.
Very floral. This one, I would say, a little floral
on this thin white line.
Yeah, and not smoky as it sits, but like the smoke output while you're puffing away.
Yeah, it's above average. Yeah, it's got a good amount of smoke coming out, and it's a regular Toro size. What is this? 6x54?
Mm-hmm. That's what I would say. We need like a ring gauge. They make those, don't they?
Yeah, actually, I have one.
I
have it's like, it goes from like 6 to 15, I think. So it's for like hand rings. So it wouldn't work on this because it's too small.
Right.
So I need to get a similar set, but like for cigars.
Yeah. I know, I forget who has like the the ring gauges on the back of the magazine. I'm not sure if it's Thompson Cigar or CI, but on the back of the magazine, it has all the ring gauges, true to size, on the image.
Yeah, but I think like, you could put the foot on there maybe.
Yeah.
But I want something to slide over it.
Yeah. I agree.
So this is the Fatboy Cigars Boots on the Ground thin white line. Currently shows out of stock on the website. These are limited editions. The retail on this is $8, which I think is a phenomenal price. So this is a 6.5 by 56, and like you said, when it's just sitting there, like you can kind of see the smoke coming off it. Kind of light and faint, but then when you puff on it, it's a good mouthful of smoke. It's not the smokiest cigar, but it's definitely above average.
Yep. Yeah, I was looking at their website right before Christmas. I was thinking of picking something up, and all their good shit was gone, man. The the Thin White Light and most of their just the Thin Line series was gone.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I wanted to try the Thin Red Line, and nope, gone.
Yep. And
The Jack 2 was gone. I was like, well, no Christmas for me then.
yeah, shout out to Fatboys for hooking us up. And of course, yeah, check out fatboycigars.com if you're looking to pick up some really high quality. I mean, every cigar we've had from them is good.
Oh yeah,
And they're just super affordable. But this particular Thin White Line, 6.5 by 56, and it's a Nicaraguan Habano outer leaf. The binder and filler is Nicaraguan. So this is a Nicaraguan puro. And like we said, it's much more common to get a Nicaraguan puro than any other country.
yeah.
Just because they make so many different types of tobacco, So yeah, I think definitely like a green cedar, floral, touch of spice, touch of cocoa, and then some kind of like creamy caramel sweet, but it's just a touch.
I'm about an inch in, and as it's coming out of my nostrils, I'm starting to get like a woodsy, slightly vegetal
Yeah.
flavor out of it now.
Yeah, I was gonna say vegetal bitter.
Yeah.
I think that green. I think the cedar turned into Spanish cedar, which is
Yeah.
really cypress. Turned into green cedar. Turned into cypress and vegetal.
Yeah.
Vegetal bitter is what we call that. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, that's a good flavor. This is kind of like a I don't know, a multi-purpose player with the taste right now. Where like I can see having this in the morning with coffee.
Yeah.
I can see having it after lunch. Probably not your post-steak dinner
No.
smoke, but definitely like lounge, grilling.
Yeah.
It's a good,
Most anything.
yeah, like the flavor profile isn't going to clash with a lot of stuff.
No.
Speaking of clashing, we are smoking this along with our usual coffee. And do you drink your coffee black?
Not true black, but mostly black. I've been cutting down on the amount of sugar. Usually I've been using what's called Truvia, which is stevia. And I've been, like, if I have a regular cup size like this, what is it, 12 ounces?
Yeah, yeah.
I was doing 4 packs of those. Now I'm down to 2.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get closer to true, black.
Okay.
So I haven't used creamer in years.
So El Fumo is not true black. He's partially black. What?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, coffee. So I drink mine black, and we are drinking 2C coffee. So Fatboy sent us this little Christmas package. It was so nice of him. And Teresa from 2C Coffee included a couple of packets for us to try out. And this is their Rise and Grind. There's also Big Baller in there.
Big baller. Why didn't we smoke that? That is so, like...
Well, we didn't smoke it because we smoked the cigars and drank the coffee.
Yeah, drink the cigar. I mean... I have not had alcohol, for the record. Not yet, at least.
Liar.
But I'm surprised we didn't drink that first Big Baller. I didn't read that pack. I was like, that is such Johnny Midas coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
Big Baller.
It needs to come in a gold package. But
Right.
other than that,
Gold foil or something.
So I'm liking this coffee.
Yeah.
I guess since mine's black, I'll kind of run the commentary on it. Smooth, not bitter. Yeah, it's just good.
It's good.
It's good. I mean, I don't know.
It's not Folgers, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's definitely not Folgers. Yeah, I'm not really the best at, like, I don't know, coffee tasting notes.
Yeah, I'm not a... I love drinking the shit out of coffee, but I can't dissect it.
Yeah, like, it's smooth, and it has good legs on it, so it's oily.
Yeah.
It's not bitter.
So you're saying it has sexy legs?
It's got sexy legs, and it's on the sweet side
Yeah.
for coffee. Really good breakfast coffee, I think. I like it. It tastes like it's probably high caffeine.
Yeah.
So
That's what it says. What was that? Sumatra or something like that? It says it on there.
yeah, house breakfast blend plus Robusta for extra caffeine.
Robusta. Yeah.
Yep. This is a 2-ounce pack, 2-ounce sample pack, fresh roasted coffee from 2cpremium.com. If you guys want to check it out, 2cpremium.com. Free plug for Teresa. Really appreciate you sending this down, and goes with this cigar.
Yeah. We'll drink coffee. Any coffee anybody wants to send it our way, we'll drink it. If you're a roaster, send it our way.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man. I'm really liking the flavor pickup on this cigar.
Little almondy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's getting a little almonds in there.
It's changing so much. It is insane.
It is. And what I really like about it is, it's medium body to where I can retrohale all the time.
Yeah.
And pick up extra nuances,
I honestly retrohale all my cigars now.
Do you?
Yeah. It just...
Yeah, I'm pretty, I retrohale a lot, but it depends on the cigar. Like I said, the Padron 1926 Principe, which is, that's enough cigar, that cigar. That's one of my favorites for strong cigars. I can't. Like, it will singe my nose hairs. Yeah. It's just, it's just rough.
I actually learned a lot from Francisco because he's the one that told me start doing that. Mm-hmm. So, dude, that guy just can't steer you wrong.
Dude, his level of passion for the leaf is amazing.
Yeah. I'm sorry that we sound like fanboys and can't stop quoting him, but it's like when you start to know him on a personal level and he just, like, that's what you talk, like, he never runs out of things to talk about too. It's always something new every time you talk to him.
Well, I'm sure if we met some of the other guys in the industry,
right,
we'd kind of have the same takeaway. But man, I just appreciate, like, he's so open and warm.
Right.
He loves this. Of course, he was on the podcast.
Yeah.
And so appreciate that.
Very accessible too.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Not that the other guys aren't on purpose accessible, but they're busy and it kind of is a celebrity status, and I'm sure it's everybody just But.
I'll say this though, this cigar, like, it's a little stronger than it feels. Like, I'm starting to feel a little like I'm smoking a cigar. Lightheaded is probably too strong of a word, but packs.
Feel the buzz.
Packs a little buzz in there.
Little buzz.
Yeah. All right, so we have got this thin white line from Fatboy Cigars lit, and we are smoking the first third. This is a 6.5 by 56 Bejique Cubanesque cigar. It has a Nicaraguan Habano outer leaf and 100% Nicaraguan binder and filler, Nicaraguan puro. And with that, it is time for our tobacconist tip of the week. El Fumo, take it away.
And now your tobacconist tip of the week with Angel Solorio.
All right, tobacconist tip of the week. So we talked about this past Thursday about lighting, and then you recently learned because I told you Zippo is from Erie, PA. So it's not.
Yep.
It's far, but not far. Some people, we were just talking about, trying to light your cigar in a pinch, or, what you use to light your cigar. Normally, I just prefer a torch just because how easy it is. And, you've talked about it, temperature and flame control. Definitely don't use a Zippo or any lighter fluid type of lighter because it will change the flavor and ruin your cigar.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I've lit a cigar with a Zippo, and it was so bad I actually cut the cherry off and started over. And what I did was all I had access to was a Zippo. I was on vacation. I had the cigar, and getting the cigar was like you had to find the guy on the beach with the backpack. Yeah. And I didn't want to hunt down for a second cigar or something. And I'm like, I'm going to make it work. And so I found a piece of wood, and I lit that, and then lit the cigar with the wood. And then I was like, you're such a fucking idiot. Why didn't you do this the first time? Ruin the whole cigar.
Yeah.
But you are dead nuts on that one. Like, you can't. It's fucking kerosene, and it tastes like campfire gas.
So stick to your butane because it's filtered, and the butane flavor,
It burns 100%.
Right.
Butane like burns 100%.
Yeah, it's efficient.
Yeah.
It's more efficient than the lighter fluid because it's just lighter fluid. It's not filtered. It's just too light.
Yeah.
It works with a cigarette, obviously. Who cares
Yeah.
what you light a cigarette with? But this is a cigar, so yeah, you don't want. And these tobacco leaves are sponges, definitely sponges, because they'll soak up the environment too. So storage is also important. I won't name the certain place that stored their cigars in a freshly painted room and
Freshly varnished.
room,
Oil
and then
based.
all the cigars that they had in that quote unquote humidor tasted.
It's almost as bad as taking like Zepp White Lightning and mopping the entire floor of your cigar lounge right before you open up for the day. No comments. Well, awesome. Angel, thanks for that tobacconist tip of the week. So, yeah, avoid the Zippo. They're cool. I know people that collect them. They make inserts for them that contain butane.
Yep.
So if if you have that special Zippo that your grandpa had in World War II or something, you can actually enjoy it and use it. You can take the guts out and put a butane.
Yeah.
It's like a cartridge thing that goes in there, and still have that exterior. Or you can do what I do and just have your cool Zippos in some place, to look at. And then use a regular torch to light your cigars.
That's right.
You don't have to have just one. Anyway, so back to this thin white line. And, of course, we are drinking the 2C Premium Coffee Rise and Grind along with this, which is a nice flavored coffee to go along with this.
Yeah. It's going along really well.
I will say the strength is picked up. I think the body is still medium.
Yep.
It's pretty smooth and mellow and accessible. But the strength has picked up. Like I said, there's a little buzz. It's not harsh at all, but that's part of the problem, I think, is like, I can take in big mouthfuls of smoke and I can retrohale it and there's no burn. And so the strength kind of sneaks up on you.
Yeah. A little buttery now.
Yep.
Kind of like the...
Almond butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it like evolved.
Yes. That is so strange. I think this is the most flavorful cigar I've smoked so far on here.
Yeah, it really is.
It's changed so much. The other one was the G2 that changed a lot, and now it's this one. What was the price point on this again?
$8.
$8.
Yep. So I'm on Fatboy Cigars right now, and I'm going to click on the shop tab, and let's see what they have. So we've got the Fatboys Cigars Jacked Box Press 5x54, and these are listed at $7.90. You have your other Boots on the Ground series. Your Thin Red Line is showing as out of stock. The Jacked Box Pressed Habano Toro 6x54, which I think is probably a size that would be attractive to a lot of folks.
Yep.
$8. So really phenomenal deal.
Yeah, their stuff.
There is still some thin green line, 5.5x54. This is a Candela wrapped cigar that is apparently not your grandpappy's Candela. Those are from 725.
Okay. Not a huge fan of Candelas, but I'm willing to try it.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I've had a few really good Candelas, and then I've had some really bad ones. I don't see there's a lot of middle ground on that wrapper.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to nail.
What I do like with Candelas is I forget which cigar you said, but APS makes a really nice triple barber pole, and it has a Candela on it. The Asylum as well.
Yep.
And the Filthy Hooligan.
They've also got a 2-pack of the Jacked and the Jacked 2 for $14. I mean,
That's
like,
not bad.
Yeah, that's like the price of one cigar.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the shipping will bump it up, $3 or $4, but hey, that's literally what it'll cost you to go to the cigar lounge, to a cigar lounge to buy a stick anyway. And gas.
Speaking of barber pole, they've got the Patriot, which is the final boots on the ground. This is a torpedo barber pole.
I dig it.
$7.50. I love the white ribbon on the foot. That's cool. And it's a Nicaraguan puro as well. So really interesting. It's got a red line Maduro leaf and a blue line Connecticut leaf barber pulled together. So kind of cool.
This is such an enjoyable smoke.
Yeah, it really is, and I feel like when we talk about use case or whatever,
Yeah,
like you could enjoy this in a lot of different settings.
absolutely.
And you could give it to a friend who might not be like that into cigars, and they can smoke it without getting knocked out.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, this is not a light cigar, and it's picked up in strength and body. I'd probably peg it mid full right now, and we're like just into the second third.
Yep. I'm almost into the final third.
Nah, you're like halfway. Getting there.
I'm a little further.
Further than I am.
Yeah.
Angel's just over here enjoying his cigar while I do all the talking.
Thanks. I sacrifice a lot for the show.
So we were talking about conspiracy theories earlier in the week. Now, there is Conspiracy Theory Thursday
Yep.
here at Union Cigar Hanover, and that's what, the last Thursday of every month?
Third Thursday of the month.
Third Thursday of every month. And if I remember correctly, don't you get a discount if you wear a tinfoil hat?
Yeah. Tinfoil hat.
If you wear a tinfoil hat, you'll get a discount. So get that ball cap that you don't wear, wrap it in tinfoil. Coming out to Union Cigar Hanover on the third Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. And share your baddest, darkest conspiracy. I'll tell you, I've heard some doozies. Now, my take on conspiracy theories is, there's very few actual conspiracies.
Yeah.
Now, the definition of a conspiracy is two or more individuals engaged in illegal behavior secretly.
Yeah.
That's it. And when it comes to government conspiracies, the problem is it requires two things. It requires secrecy and competence. And the government doesn't have either of those.
No.
So I think that my take is that most conspiracy theories involving the government can be chalked up to stupidity and incompetence rather than a cabal of super secret, really intelligent guys that, are hiding aliens from us or something. But I've got a conspiracy or two up my sleeve.
Some of them can be really fun. I like a good
one,
one.
right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You share yours.
You want me to share that one? Okay.
You go first.
Not that it's... I was just reading into it this morning, and it just sounded fun. So apparently on January 1st in Miami, I forget the name of the mall. It's Bay something, but there's a call for... This is what the official police report was, for juveniles starting a riot/fight at a mall. And the police response was quite the affair because it was literally probably the whole department. And
how many cars responded?
I would say from that video that I saw, but that's only one side, was at least 50 cars.
50 cars.
50 cars, maybe one to two deep.
For juveniles fighting
at a mall.
Okay.
But apparently the internet is having fun with this one, and they're saying there was reports of 8 to 10 foot tall alien dark figures.
That would explain why the cops had to send out so many cars.
Right.
But was there like a SWAT man or something?
No, not that I saw. Like I said, the one video. There's only one video so far. Apparently somebody had posted a video but then took it down immediately because
it's a conspiracy. They told him if you don't take it down,
that's right,
you're going to Rikers.
That's about a few hundred miles away from Miami, but
whatever.
But yeah, I just thought it was fun. I was like, ooh, so I started digging into it, and just so far, I mean, it's still pretty fresh. So how investigations legitimately work with police departments. They can't release a lot of information till it's done. So I think that's part of the part where people are like, ooh, they're hiding something.
Let's fill in the blanks before we know anything.
Yeah. But if it is aliens, how fun would that be?
I don't know. How fun would it be?
Pretty fun.
Pretty fun?
Unless they're talking about our alien friends from down south, which there are plenty in Miami.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, especially given like the climate right now with police response and stuff. It does seem extremely out of proportion to what was reported. And now maybe they were under the impression it could escalate to an active shooter situation or something. And malls are huge, and they wanted to have officers at every exit to help people out. I don't know.
I mean, Miami is a massive city.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think the response was probably appropriate because they wanted, the maximum amount of personnel there to not only have people control the inside, but also control the outside.
Well, and, post Uvalde and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Where you had some major fuck-ups. It's like...
Yeah, I think they needed to step their shit up. So
Yeah.
And
Now, here's the countervailing conspiracy is somebody was doing something like robbing a bank, and they called this in to get all the police over there.
Right.
Once the police were off the street, they pulled off their heist.
Right.
So
and the aliens were helping them.
the aliens were helping them rob the bank. This is more fun with alcohol.
Yeah, it would be. But that's what I said. It's like conspiracy theories. Okay, you don't have to be a nut job to like them. They're just fun. They can be fun sometimes. You can have fun with them. That's why they're called conspiracy theories.
Yeah. So my conspiracy is older, darker, deeper, and it is the conspiracy theory of the lost civilization of Tartaria. So I guess when you go to like Western Asia, Eastern Europe, in Russia, right, you had this massive empire that kind of started with the Mongols, right? And, you had Genghis Khan and, this conquer the world thing going on. And basically, this theory is that there was a founding civilization of humanity called Tartaria. And up until, I don't know, the 1850s or something, that whole area was referred to as Tartaria. The Tartars, you've probably heard of them. And there is, definitely some like archaeological evidence for whoever lived there before. The conspiracy theorists will say that Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe and these sites in Turkey are part of that empire, and they are very old. They're 11,500 before present, 9,000 BC or so. And the conspiracy is that they were wiped out in this global mud flood that just buried everything in dirt. And that, the usual characters like the Illuminati and the Roman Catholic Church and everybody else that's big and powerful have basically decided to, like, remove that from human history.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work. So this conspiracy theory is complete bullshit. You can easily deconstruct it, and people have online. But it's a really fun one. This lost civilization that did a lot of stuff. And, I think for me, though, personally, like, what's interesting about, like, this conspiracy is we have done that with so many things. It just was never a conspiracy. For example, the modern American, because it's not the same in South America or Europe, but American archaeology, like our story of native Mesoamericans, like the Inca, the Maya, Toltecs, Olmecs, go down the list, is like, brown people running around in butt flaps who slapped some stones together and
called it a day.
And had human sacrifice.
Yeah.
And that was it. And when in fact, not only were the Mayans, for example, very advanced, like in their astronomy and mathematics, and then the Spanish came in and burned. We know of 57 codices they burned. I think we only have 4 left.
Right, the Mayan Codex.
Yeah, and then other estimates are like in the thousands, like 2,000 codices that were burned.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like a conspiracy so much as you had a racist understanding of humanity at the time, and it was so bad that a couple of the explorers came back from Mesoamerica, like from Bolivia, because they were fighting over rubber plantation. They came back and they're like, we found these ancient ruins and pottery, and it reminds us of the pyramids, and these guys were super advanced, and they got shouted down. Like, you can't say that. It's okay to take all of this stuff because these people aren't evolved.
Right.
I mean, that's literally what the argument was.
Which is funny. The equivalent modern European city was nowhere near as advanced as a Mesoamerican city at the time.
Yeah, with like indoor plumbing and indoor toilets and stuff.
And the cleanliness
irrigation,
alone.
yeah, and cleanliness.
They
yeah.
didn't have a black plague, something like that.
Yeah, so the idea of covering up a civilization could actually happen.
That is true.
It probably wouldn't be a conspiracy. It would be the natural outcome of, the winners write the history.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like the conspiracy that there's no such thing as Armenians.
Oh, yeah.
I like to hound on you on that one.
Yeah,
That
there was no Holocaust.
there was no...
75% of the Armenian population just died.
No, they left.
They just died. Some really, really interesting stuff, too, while we're on the topic of the Maya. The Creek Indians are Mayan.
Yep.
Like 75% of their language is Maya. And then what sealed the deal was archaeologists found this mound, and it's partial stone construction, but they used a lot of earthworks back then. And in this stone construction, it has the blue pigmented cement that is only found in Mayan architecture in one region. And so they did a chemical analysis, and it's the same stuff.
Yeah.
So the Creek Indians, which are like in Georgia.
Yeah.
In the US,
Southern U.S.
Yeah. Like they're literally Mayans, and their culture, their received tradition, their oral history is they were commoners, because the Maya had a very aristocratic structure, kind of like Europe did at the time. And these were commoners who were like, fuck you guys, we're going to go west, just like all of these Americans went west that didn't have any real prospects back east.
Right.
To try their luck or whatever. And so the Creek is like a democratic republic, like their structure of the tribe. They vote for a wartime chief and a peacetime chief, but they have both chiefs at all times. It's just whoever takes precedent depends on, socioeconomic factors at the time. So really interesting. Apparently the different people groups were doing what people do.
Yeah.
Moving around, settling, exploring, stuff like that. The Shoshone are also heavily influenced by, if not descendant from the Mayan. I think 25% of their language is Mayan.
Yeah. I mean, look at southwestern U.S. Like the Puebla people, man, they were making towns on the edges of mountains, cliffs.
Dude, it's fucking bizarre. The Pueblo are bizarre because they have these amazing stone dwellings that they carved into the side of cliffs.
Yeah.
But they have stones there that we know where they got them from, and it was like 200 miles away over rough terrain, and we still don't know how they transported them.
Right. So, and the...
It was the aliens.
Yeah, it was the aliens. The explanation for the Egyptian pyramids is, copper tools on stone. Well, we know that doesn't work. So what the hell did the Puebla people use to carve out the stone? You can't say copper because they weren't mining copper.
I don't know.
That we're aware of. The Native Americans weren't metallurgists. So
yeah. Well, the metal question is difficult only because metal is so valuable that it's constantly reused. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons we only have gold and silver artifacts from the past is they're purely ornamental.
Yeah.
They're not strong enough to do anything with. And so they're used for jewelry and currency, and so they last. But, if you had, there's a passage in the Bible about beating your plowshares into swords.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know the context of that particular thing, but that's what people used to do back then. It's like, if you have metal, you use it and you reuse it. You need swords. You're not starting a fucking iron mine to make your weapons. It's going to be too late, So you take your existing metal and repurpose it.
Like the Aztecs and the Mayans, they used for their cutting tools was obsidian. Sharp obsidian, like rock glass.
Yeah.
They weren't using metal.
Super effective too.
Crazy sharp.
They use obsidian skinning knives to this day. There's no reason not to.
Yeah. Gold for them was just another trinket.
Yeah. So, it wasn't very useful.
Yeah. Maybe Johnny Midas should take a lesson from that.
Johnny Midas built his pyramid out of gold. That's what Johnny Midas did, while speaking about himself in the third person.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, conspiracy theory Thursday. Stop by if you want to get your mind blown.
Speaking of gold, real quick, your gold hand didn't break, but everything else did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I knocked the golden Johnny Midas statue off the table, and now I just have a hand with a cigar, and everything else broke. I'll have to Insta that. Hard to believe we're this deep into the podcast. We're 50 minutes in, so
oh wow,
we are going to take a break. Keep your dial locked in to the golden dulcet tones of Johnny Midas's golden palate. We will be right back. And Angel, what have we got for cigar news of the week?
And now your cigar news of the week with Angel Solorio.
So, Tatuaje is going to be releasing their 10th anniversary Kappa special. It is a newly limited edition variation. It uses Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, while the binder and filler still come from Nicaragua.
Interesting. You know me and my Ecuadorian Sumatra.
That's right. So they're going to have a few different sizes, 5 3/4 by 48 and 5 3/8 by 52. So,
They must be using the same mold as the Crowned Heads Meal Kicks.
Yeah.
That weird fraction mold.
Yeah. I haven't had a Tatuaje in a while. They're pretty good. So.
We smoked the Monster, I think. We smoked it for the podcast, and I don't think that episode came out. Like the audio was dead, so we couldn't air it, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. So you're only going to have 3,000 boxes of each.
Phase 2 Redux. That's what we smoked.
Okay. And so there's going to be 6,000 boxes total.
Nice.
So limited edition. Get your hands on it. I definitely want to try at least one. Tatuajes are the shit.
Yeah, we tend to like him. He's one of those, Pete Johnson's one of those interesting guys where he reminds me of Saka. Like, both of those guys, they just make a cigar they like. And then they're like, we're going to make as many as we can, and you're going to pay whatever we have to make money on this, but it's a damn good cigar, What else? Any other news for the week?
Not really. That was pretty much it.
Light cigar news, and that's kind of typical. Like this time of year, there's not too much. By the end of the month, we'll start getting more and more announcements, for later in the year.
Yeah, it's the beginning. There's not much going on.
Yeah,
it's cold.
It's cold
here. Still hot there. Luckily,
great time of year to take a tour of a cigar farm. Down in Nicaragua or something. Kind of get out of your snow and weather and go somewhere warm. Of course, it's cold for them,
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. News of the week, El Fumo. Why don't we get back to this cigar? And before we rank it, why don't you tell me, you're just about ready to start your final third. Tell me what you're going through right now.
So since the last time I said anything, the still getting that buttered flavored out of it. It's stayed consistent through so far. Not much has changed. Still getting a little of that Spanish cedar.
Mm-hmm.
The pepper has gone away. The peppery. Not much spice.
But the strength and body has also picked up.
Yeah, the nicotine. I can feel it. Yeah.
So I think the cedar is still there, and it does have that. You know how cedar has that sort of spiced component to it.
Okay.
It's got like that element, and then I think that like almond butter. I think it has evolved into cashew butter.
Cashew butter
on the palate. Yeah. It's got that sweet and savory sort of cashew flavor in there. A little bit of vegetal bitter in there. Yeah, the pepper and spice has kind of gone away. The floral component is really muted. It's kind of been swallowed up by the other flavors, and it's kind of like settled down into this, kind of sweet and savory cigar that would really go well with like eggs in purgatory or other breakfast foods.
Okay.
Maybe after a club sandwich, something like that. Good smoke output.
Yeah, definitely. Again, not a stinky cigar either.
Oh, not a stinky cigar. Not going to have to go home and hose down in the garage while your wife yells at you.
She throws lye at you.
Yeah, as she throws bars of soap at you from across the room. Or husband. There are women that listen to this podcast too, so want to be as inclusive as possible. But that is a delicious cigar, and man, super affordable. And of course, we are pairing this with the 2C Premium Coffee Rise and Grind, which has been a very mellow, smooth, sweet coffee.
Yeah, I'm out of my coffee. I think this is the time where we need to talk about a budget for a coffee assistant.
Yeah. Anybody out there that wants to be a coffee assistant for us, shoot us a DM. We have, pretty easy to handle requirements, most important of which is
Just
you need to be able to make fucking coffee.
Refill the cups while we're talking.
Yeah. Be seen and not heard. All right, so this 6.5 by 54 thin white line from Fatboys Cigars. It has a Nicaraguan Habano wrapper and Nicaraguan binder and filler. It is a Nicaraguan puro, and I would say it's definitely more robust near the end, but it certainly doesn't have some of the punch that Nicaraguan puros have. Like a lot of Perdomo cigars, are stronger than this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one is much more approachable, I think, for a broader range of folks.
Yeah. Well, once you get to this point, it gets stronger.
It does, man. This final third, it's like, okay, this is a strong cigar. It sneaks up on you. I think we both got a little bit of cigar buzz going on.
Nicotine buzz.
Yeah. So presentation, we mentioned, these don't come in boxes. They do have cello, which is good for retailers. When I'm picking up a cigar in the lounge, I don't like unwrapped or uncelloed cigars because I don't know who's touched it or whatever.
Right.
It's got this nice black yarn that kind of represents the boot laces.
Yep.
The dog tag-esque tag.
Yeah.
Really sharp looking. What are your thoughts on presentation?
I think it's nice. Yeah, it's different because I really haven't seen like that where they put something on the outside of the cello.
Yeah, like it stands out for sure. Yeah.
With the shoelace and the tag on the outside. So that's different. It's unbanded, which I kind of like that because now you don't have to damage your cigar trying to unband it yourself. Yeah. So, and it's just less work you got to do. But it was a nice stick overall. I mean, it looked like a cigar. The wrapper was nice. I think because of the heat, a little bit more. It started to look a little bit more oily.
Yeah. As it heated up, kind of excreted a little oil. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like oily, not waxy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think on presentation?
Oh, we score now?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to do an 8. 8
on presentation.
I have to agree with you. They could do a little bit more with that tag, like something on the back.
I think a QR code would be the balls.
QR code, yeah.
Yeah, just take you right to a purchase page.
And a little cigar. Yeah, and the little message of what, explaining what the white line is, what the red line, what the blue line.
Yeah, and that was one thing that was missing on the website as well. Yeah. When you look up thin white line, it doesn't say what does this thin white line represent on the sales page. You can find it in the website, but not right there. And I gave it a 7 for presentation. Good presentation. Definitely, hanging in there with the big boys. This does not look like a house blend or something like that. I really like it. So how about price at $8 for this 6.5 by 54?
Yeah. I'm going to give it an 8. It's affordable. and it's a lot of stick the flavor profile for it. It's definitely like it's it's underpriced.
Yeah. I gave it a 7 for price, and I think that it smokes above the $8 price point.
Yeah. So 10 on the budget, but 8 for what it is.
Yeah. I think I really think they can charge more for these.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think $9.50.
Yeah.
Is still a budget cigar.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's an element in the customer base where quality is associated with price to a certain extent, and we do it all the time. With clothes and cars, and why would cigars be any different?
Right.
So
I think it's also cheaper because it technically doesn't come in a box. You just get them in a bag.
Oh.
So they're saving, so they're passing the savings on to you.
Mm-hmm. How about construction? What have you got there?
We'll give it a 9. This is a beautiful looking stick. It's held together. I like the closed foot on it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely smoking that wrapper was pretty good. And pigtail, I just kind of chopped it off.
Yeah.
It was aesthetic.
Yeah, it was aesthetic. The aesthetic is good. I love the closed foot, and I had a 9 for construction as well. Like I typically start with 10 and go from there. And you had like a little bit of issue with wrapper leaf cohesion in the right near the head, right?
Yeah.
So as you got to the final third, you're starting to flake apart.
Yeah, I just got one little flake, but as far as the cap part is staying together. The head is. It hasn't unwrapped.
So you can see the cap leaf here on mine, and it's perfect. There's no air bubbles. There's no little flap to tongue, anything like that. It's just burned well, and the smoke output, is good. It hasn't like sometimes a cigar will get a hot spot, anything like that. Nope, just solid smoke all the way through. So I know a 9 is a kind of a high rating for construction, but it just earned it. Like it's a well-constructed cigar.
Definitely.
All right, well, that brings us to flavor, and man, I had a lot of fun with this cigar. What are your thoughts on flavor?
Might be a little much, but I want to give it a 10 only because the amount of flavor you got out of it, and it's a budget stick. It changed in the first third was one flavor, and then the second third changed to another, and I like that.
Yeah.
It's like smoking 2 or 3 cigars at a time in one.
Yeah, definitely kept my interest. I gave it an 8 for flavor. I think it's accessible to a lot of folks. I'm trying to think of some of the friends I have and like their palate and stuff. I know a couple of guys where, it's probably not like robust enough for them. They're always smoking the Padron 3000s and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do like also the strength picked up, as you went through. Might be a surprise to some folks because it does start out like
up on you,
mellow and smooth, and then it definitely picks up steam and says, by the way, I'm a Nicaraguan cigar, as you go through.
I think your friends would like it once they get halfway through the stick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I can dig this.
Yeah, this final third is robust, definitely. I almost said robust.
Robust.
It's robust. All right, and then, our most subjective, but I think most important rating is experience. Your experience with the cigar. So, we often talk about use case when we talk about experience. Well, our experience is always top-notch because we have 2 good dudes that love cigars, that have, reasonably developed palates that can talk intelligently about cigars.
Can we?
Sometimes. And sometimes we're dimwits. But, we're here in the hot box.
Yeah.
The set and setting is right. There's not some idiot in the lounge talking about the wrong sports team or the wrong political team or something like that, So we're focused on the cigar. Yeah. That always raises our experience here. But where else can you smoke it? So I would say, you could rake leaves, walk your dog, do something like that while smoking it.
Yeah.
And not be too worried. First of all, it burned well. It stayed lit. It's not expensive, so you're not worried about I've got to be in a lounge like this El Septimo that I've got in my box here. When I finally decide to smoke it, I need 3 hours. set aside to enjoying a cigar. You know, it's not like that.
I think with this Vitola, you can definitely smoke it outside with some moderate wind.
Yeah.
I would say probably wouldn't go out. I mean, it's well constructed. I haven't had any issues. Normally we have to do some maintenance, and I haven't had to do any of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Grilling, football party, in the lounge, share it with a friend. So what are your thoughts on, what's your ranking for experience?
I want to give it a 9.
Ooh, a big 9 from El Fumo over here.
Yeah.
I gave it a 9 as well. This is like a cigar smoker's cigar. Like, you can smoke it. You can smoke it while doing other stuff if you want. But it's just enjoyable.
Right.
You're getting premium tobacco with great taste. The flavor changes, keeps your interest. Just a really, really good experience here. So that brings the final rating for this thin white line from Fatboys Cigars to 42.
Nice.
And I think this is the second cigar they've had that ranked in the low 40s. So really, really good showing, and I think just highlights, we haven't had a bad stick from them yet,
right.
Or even mediocre.
No, not at all. I was smelling the smoke that I was pushing out, and then the smoke that's coming off the cigar. I don't know if you're getting like a smoked meat kind of smell out of that.
Yes, absolutely. Like the secondhand smoke.
Yeah, the secondhand
has like a smoked meat smell,
which is
really interesting.
Pretty cool. So, like I said, it's not stinky and it's not an offensive cigar.
Yeah.
So this is great to smoke around people that aren't smokers as well.
Yeah, agree.
Unless they're just lame.
So, touching on the socials, Burnline Podcast is your podcast. You can reach out, burnlinepodcast@gmail.com. No emails this week. No comments on our shows. I feel kind of left out, but at Burnline Podcast, Instagram, Facebook now.
Yep.
Twitter, Threads, X, whatever. I think we're on all of them. Instagram's kind of the home, and Facebook's got some good stuff going on now.
The aliens haven't messaged us yet, so
aliens haven't messaged us yet.
We're waiting, guys. We won't say anything.
Did get a few comments on the audio quality from last week. Apologize for that.
Yeah.
We should have it all fixed up this week. I don't know, because I haven't edited the sound yet.
Yeah, well, but hopefully it comes out a lot better.
We are back to our H6 collector with our Shure S2 Chinese knockoff condenser mics with pop filter. So hopefully we've got that problem licked and going forward. So thank you guys for joining us on Burnline Podcast. For all of you out there on the interwebs, have a great week.